It's a pie reveal! April's champions are revealed in a pie to celebrate Pie Day yesterday. And one of those new champions for April was a shocker. It's a bit of a shocker. Yes, very funny. Anyway, Kabam Mike responds to the state of Battlegrounds progression and how Kabam are punishing modders in preparation for the launch of the new season of Battlegrounds later on today. There's no positive update on the Forge to Fight compensation, but we also have some more information to go over in other areas of the game. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Marvel Contest of Champions news show for Wednesday. Let's delve into some of these stories. First though, hit the like button and subscribe with post notifications on all. Subscribing to a channel is absolutely free, massively helps out my channel if you could do that. Also later on today we have got ourselves an incursion special with Mr. Sinister. Some great fun stuff was found with that champion in a special synergy, but also the Iceman buff. We're going to be reviewing and going over it, so make sure to keep locked to the channel for them. Many geeks, let's kick off this particular segment and the show with Pie. Yes, Pie. Did you know that Shocker and Sandman are coming to the game? I think a lot of us definitely had Sandman as a champion coming in, but also I think it's a bit of a shocker that Shocker was in there, because I think a lot of people would want Lizard. But yeah, like, it's still really cool to see Shocker come into the game. I think a lot of people have been like wanting Sandman for such a long time. Shocker, not so much, but still a cool character. I remember back as a kid, I used to watch the Spider-Man animated series, and seeing Shocker on there was pretty cool, just, you know, to see that particular character from time to time. So having this one in MCOC is going to be very fun. Gotta be honest, it's a nice looking pie. Look at that, it's a nice looking pie, very crumbly. And I bet the thing is, like, in the UK, we don't really. I mean, I don't really have pie much because it just. And it makes like pastries and stuff. I don't tend to have them that much. It just makes me feel unwell. But it definitely looked rather delectable and tasty. Now, a quick word on Paragon stamps and stamps in general. So, I mean, for me, I don't spend on the game, so it's a lot of this stuff is kind of, it's a little bit foreign to me, to be honest. But for obviously, you know, good reasons with other players, this is incredibly important for what you've invested into it, and you need an answer as to like what's going on with these Paragon stamps, eh? Oh god, I'm turning Canadian now. Anyway, Kabam Mike on the subject of the Paragon stamps. Thank you for your patience. We worked to get information together. First, there are Paragon stamps in the new Paragon daily deal. They are not currently visible, but we are working to resolve that. Now, to address this issue, it looks like we deprecated the old Paragon selector earlier than we. Is it deprecated? Honestly, the choice of words sometimes. I'm thinking like, I'm thinking, I don't know. For a moment, I was like, I can tell I haven't had a coffee. I was looking at deprecated, and I was thinking like, does that mean like poops yourself, or kind of like, or poop somewhere? Oh, I need a coffee in a minute. It's too early for me to be recording content and thinking about words. The old Paragon selected earlier than we should have. To clarify something, there were no Paragon stamps before this. Paragon players were able to use Thronebreaker stamps to purchase Paragon selectors, so no stamps have been lost. They are still on your account. Because Kabam have done that new Paragon daily deal thing, so that may have kind of like skewed things up a little bit. The change has left some Paragon summoners with excess tickets that they can't spend or don't want to spend on Thronebreaker selectors. To address these issues, we're going to do the following. Re-release the old Paragon selector so players can use these excess Thronebreaker stamps. We will only be available to Paragon summoners and will be available for a limited time only. Do not have the ETA for this time. Sugars. So if you're a Thronebreaker, you're going to have to push to be Paragon, sadly. Let Paragon exchange up to 7 Thronebreaker stamps. For Paragon stamps, we'll do this by adding an exchange item in the store with purchase limit 7. Lets you purchase 1 Paragon for 1 Thronebreaker. This will also be available for a limited time only, and I do not have an ETA at this time. Sorry for confusion. We'll let you know, blah, blah, blah. So it looks like Kabam are dealing with it in a certain way and not pooping themselves. I don't know. I need a coffee in a minute. I really need a coffee. I need to wake up. MSID issues are currently an annoyance in game, and our next topic is going to be about something that players are experiencing since about March 8th. It seems that it seems to be more regular. You see this unknown error has occurred. Please try again. This, I don't know if comes in line with that issue I was talking about a little while ago, which was the throwing special attack and then this popping up. It could be linked, it could be not linked with this one, but it could be exactly the same or could not be the same. This is the issue we've got. And it could be device specific, or maybe it's not. Loads of issues when it comes to stuff like this, but the biggest thing is, how is it dealt with? There wasn't really much of an update, except for just getting some more kind of like details from like what device and where players were encountering the issues in this particular segment. But it looked like, again, the same issue that people will kind of go like, Scorpion, Hyperion, Immortal, Hulk, Hercules, Android device here, Android device there. Crashing as a result. This particular situation does need an update, especially as these players will be going into Battlegrounds later on today and wanting to know that if they throw a special attack, they're not going to be, well, unable to do anything or have an issue, because even with like the likes of incursions, when you have to go deeper into it, if there's any problem like you know, the game crashes, your re-accessing to it may mean some certain things where you may be like instantly dead as a result, and a patch which I thought was coming in soon still hasn't been kind of acknowledged as a thing. Now, sometimes when Kabam do hot fixes, there's either you do a download for it. I don't do auto downloads just so I know that the update's coming in, so I can just say to everybody else, look, it's in, or to at least do a timeline of when something has been entered into the game to say that it's been done. Kabam do these kind of things, say like, we did a hotfix, and it's like that's great, but it's just a case of peace of mind for myself to know that I've definitely got it. And also if there's a bug with the hotfix, at least you can just go like, okay, well, I've got the older version that I'm working on. But in any case, the point still remains, this does need to be dealt with. It doesn't look like we've had any kind of like response in a little while. So yeah, I don't know if this has been fixed for players, but there's definitely people as of yesterday that were experiencing the issue. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this is dealt with. Now onto a quick update on the Transformers Forged to Fight compensation. It doesn't look like it's positive at the moment for everybody. We had like a speculation on this at the start of the week, and speculation was that maybe Kabam were trying to agree something with Hasbro or any kind of like entity that they have the rights to put something in the game. I don't know if it was it was easier with Marvel Realm of Champions to do this because it's like a game that is a Marvel game, and as well as part of the license package that they've got with Kabam and you know, Marvel as an entity. So there might be a better like you know, shaking of hands, but with other companies it may be completely different, especially with well, with other companies like Hasbro or whatever kind of like entertainment that is looking after the rights for gaming rights to the likes of Transformers in general and that IP. But where are we up to with an update on this particular situation? Well, it looks like we had an update yesterday or the day before, which was we do not have news yet. As we mentioned before, we will update this thread when this is more information to share. So this is it's strange that, like, you know, Kabam are. It was not as easy as Marvel Realm of Champions when it comes to the compensation. That was pretty much on the dot when it was the delivery. So I wonder what has been affected with that one. I don't think we'll ever get to know, but this is something that when Kabam referring to their partners, it is something that you know, as I said, the Hasbro or the entertainment or kind of gaming arm that looks after the Transformers IP probably being a bit difficult for whatever reason. God only knows why. And now we move on to a big subject, which is all about Battlegrounds. We've got a two-parter in this one. Part one is talking about the competition and talking about going up ranks, progression in a nutshell. The part two to this is going to be talking about modders, cheaters, hackers. And even though it's debatable whether or not Kabam are doing a good job with dealing with them, we're going to look at how Kabam are dealing with them from their perspective, and then it's going to be up to us to trust whether or not they're actually doing those particular things. But in any case, let's get into this. Part one. Part one to this is talking about victory track or progression or rank. A very interesting thread started up on the forums by Skylord, talking about rank resets and saying, so why does this happen in BGs? It's like saying a pro football player and a middle schooler have the same experience because they've never played this season. I wish there was some permanence to the rank you achieve and can only go back down by losing, then change games won, objectives and games played so people are not incentivized to throw. It's a very interesting concept. It's definitely something that I've kind of like pitched to, not pitched to Kabam, I think they had already an idea about it, but it's something I gave my feedback. I don't know if I shared that video or I did a video on it. Like, I think I did actually mention like some stuff that when it comes to like Yeah, and even like, as I've said before, like something that Dan said was like, well, what do highly skilled people need to prove by going from Gladiator Circuit, who obviously can do Gladiator Circuit, to then go right the way back down to Victory Track? Like, what do they have to prove to make all those gains, those 40 odd wins again, to get back up to Victory Track, back to Gladiator Circuit, to them fight it out for that one? It's a weird way of looking at it, but then there's other people outside going, well, everyone should start from the beginning. Again, it's a difficult one, because then we've still got the same process of going, right, well, even though we've got stacked rosters, football leagues have everyone in different leagues at the start of a new season, like Alliance Wars does. A football cup competition is a free-for-all, everyone can be thrown against anyone. Battlegrounds is like this, true, but then again, there's different layers to all of this, isn't there? It is a bit of a difficult one, because like, I don't know, you have to say to yourself, like, where do I fairly see myself as a player within the situation of Battlegrounds through my time investment? Like, do I have the right to say that I should be at gold each and every month? Should Paragons all be at certain levels each month? Should this particular prestige be at this level each month? I don't think it's going to be as easy as that, but I do think that something does need to be better about. If I was to do anything with Battlegrounds, I would just have the Victory Track be a little bit more shorter, just to kind of like get up a little bit more higher, a little bit more quicker, just to kind of like, yeah, just for time investment. That's probably the only thing I would say with that one. Apart from that, there's a few other things, but it's down to Kabam. Like, it's not down to players to kind of make any kind of improvements to the mode. They can suggest things, but it's up to Kabam to make an effort to kind of like see what players are saying and act on them. In many cases, get to the point of like what Kabam plan to do about it. They say this is something we want to address. So the progression and kind of like what rank you kind of like finish at or go back to. We're currently working on a solution for this, but I don't have any details on exactly what it will look like or when we could expect it. It would help an even matchmaking at the start of a season and maintain some of your progress from season to season, which I think that this is just all about time investment for the mode. I'm sure some people will disagree that you would like, well, no, it all needs to be reset to 0. But then again, it's like, are those people saying reset to 0 are going to be people that were able to get into the top flights of Gladiator Circuit? I'm talking like the top 100. Are the top 100 people really wanting to go back down to Victory Track each and every month to regrow back up to it as well? Don't know, hard sell. Be interesting to find out like what the plans are and how it will benefit. But yeah, let's move on to the part 2. Part 2 to this is like how Kabam are dealing with the modding and cheating and stuff like that. So look, we've talked a lot about this week the issues that are plagued by modders in this game. Currently the biggest thing, which I don't know if Kabam are answering to at the moment, is the exploiting, carrying and modding for people to get the Legends badge, which nowadays, or now, just like the Legends badge is like, well, it's worth nothing for the point of view of like effort in this particular situation. But back to the subject of Battlegrounds and what Kabam are doing for this. So we are pretty open how we act on modders in Battlegrounds. We have escalating punishment systems that go from 7 days to 30 days to a permanent suspension. But I would say that the biggest problem that people are doing is creating accounts just to do this, like just to do it, and like, yeah, they get the 7-day ban, they may get the 30-day ban, and then they might reform. So in that time, what have they potentially got? Rewards. What can they do with the rewards? Get a platform that your account is going to be in just like a good stonking fashion, and then people will sell those accounts on to other people. So that is, I'm not saying is or isn't, I'm just saying that's a lot of the ecosystem of the game at the moment is to do it. Some people just do it just because they want to see the world burn. It's common practice in most games, obviously leading it to permanent ban, and the goal is to reform a player so they can learn from their lesson and come back as a rule-abiding player. This works most of the time. Yeah, but they still do it, and the problem is like it's a cause and effect, and what this does, and I know Kabam are in a difficult situation to do this, but it should be a case of like they just straight up, it's just the most strictest of punishments to people on this particular situation. We need people to stop doing this. If you add a competitive mode in game, then you need to get this right. This is where so many games, especially from a a global standpoint, or the kind of like out of mobile type sense, like this is why, you know, your Call of Duties are not doing so well, or, you know, started failing down because so many people were cheating. There's Fortnite. Fortnite's a little bit better when it comes to like dealing with cheats, but then there's so many else out there. CSGO scene, Apex scene, scenes that would kind of have competitive elements to it, where people are winning money and throwing money down the line for stuff. It's so important for this to be dealt with as better as possible. But, you know, this game didn't really start off, well, it didn't start off whatsoever with a Battlegrounds mode, a PvPvE mode. We're also open about how we know that we need to continue to improve our cheat detection methods. True, we're continuously getting better at catching cheaters, but cheaters are also continuously getting sneakier and looking for ways to avoid getting caught. We need to continue to improve how we identify cheaters and act on them, but that is going to be an ongoing battle. Definitely a stricter policy needs to be put in place. I just would like to see something that's a bit more kind of like just harsher on these particular players that cheat, just to deter them a bit more. Yeah, you could go a bit deeper, like do Kabam go down the route of like banning by IP? Would people then kind of like go and find ways around that? Maybe, but then that's the thing of like how Kabam plan to deal with this particular situation, how kind of like how much more they can do with the tech that they've got, but also what they're revealing that they could do. Because like there's some stuff they'll probably keep more quiet, but I think just, yeah, more needs to be done on this. And we end the show as we normally do on a Wednesday with predictions for Viv Vision and Sunspot. So, predictions wise, I'm going with 265 mil, similar to an Ant-Man. Future Arena recently is a new champion. 265 mil, I'm going with 6-star Viv Vision. 45 mil for the 5-star Viv Vision, again coming close to that 5-star rating for Ant-Man Future. 6-star Sunspot, I'll go with 50 mil. That could be downgraded to a 40 mil though. Do bear in mind these arenas are not unpredictable, but they're kind of like, well, they are unpredictable. I know I'm trying to predict them, but you know, sometimes some ridiculous scores happen. And finally, 12 mil for the 5-star version of Sunspot. There we go, that has been the show for today. There will be a little Iceman buff review video, taking into consideration different synergies and stuff like that. And as well, a Mr. Sinister versus Incursions video coming out later on today as well. There also might be a live stream. Make sure as well, and also thank you very much to those YouTube members and patrons who are on screen right now, but also those support on twitch.tv/RichTheMan live. I should be back again live streaming today. If not, it will be on the YouTube channel. But yeah, renew your Prime, do that lovely stuff. Thank you very much. And finally, check out some other content which will be located on screen right now. I appreciate it. Have a lovely day, whatever you're doing. Much love and goodbye.